Uh,
Like,
well, let's see. I started playing in band, like high school band, except not in high school. It was in middle school. Um, that was probably fifth grade,
what
and
did you play?
I played trombone because I thought it was the tuba, and I was like class clown. Except I don't think anyone thought I was funny. I just thought it would be funny to have around the giant sousaphone, the one that wraps around you, and like with the big bell, and me being like 4 feet tall in fifth grade, you know. And turns out the trombone was not that instrument, and I just stuck with it and played it all throughout high school. So um, before that, I used to sing all the time. Like my parents would put me on the counter while they were cooking, so they wouldn't have to like deal with me, and I would just uh, sing and sing songs that I heard. So like I would sing that song from that Disney movie, Zippity Doo Dah, and I didn't know any of the lyrics to it. I'd just sing whatever I thought was the words, and so I did that. I've always been musically inclined, I guess, to do music. I tried to do choir, but I always wanted to sing my own songs and not theirs, so I quit that after like a week. Um, but yeah, I always played trombone throughout high school and stuff. And then one year I decided I wanted to play like rock instruments. So I decided to start with bass, and I don't really know why I decided to start with that. Um, I guess it's because no one plays bass, I felt like, and I was like, it's like the hipster instrument. So like, uh, I started playing bass, and from there I got a guitar, and then I started playing drums, and I had always been singing. So, uh, I mean, that's where it started. I just started playing every instrument I could get my hands on, and decided that if I could play all of them, I could probably have a good chance to be in a band at some point. And that's what ended up happening. I think it was either my freshman year or my sophomore year. I think it was freshman year. We had a talent show at our school, and this kid Taylor wanted to do a White Stripes song, and he asked another kid in his grade, Paul. So Paul played drums and Taylor played guitar and sang, and they were really happy about how it turned out. And they were like, "Yeah, that was really fun. And we like playing together. And you play drums, and no one else does." So they were like, "Well, we should start a band." So they were just talking about it, and I said, "Oh, I can play bass. I want to play in a band." So I joined the band, and my friend Joe joined the band to play lead guitar. Um, and we basically just started practicing covers and like Beatles songs and like Weezer songs, and just really like cheesy, like I don't know what you would call it, like indie rock, alt rock songs, and like Modest Mouse and Queens of the Stone Age and stuff. And we played our first show at Taylor's birthday party, and we were horrible. Like we thought we were really good, and we were like, that went pretty well, yeah, you know, like. Um, and then after being together in the band for like 3 years, we started watching the video. We had refused to watch the video until then, and we were all just like crying. It was horrible. Like the guitars were out of tune. The volumes on the things were just stupid. Like you couldn't hear the vocals, and then sometimes you heard them too much. We didn't know the lyrics to any of the songs, and like it was bad. And everyone in the crowd was like, "That was all right. You know, like you guys did good. That was your first show." And we were like, I've gone down in history as one of the worst pieces of film I've ever watched in my life. So we just kept practicing. Eventually, we decided that Joe just didn't make sense in the band because like we liked what we liked, and Joe's music was like made no sense compared to ours. So
And Joe was.
the lead guitarist, and we found out in the video that all his guitar was out of tune the entire time, like the whole time. And he only played for the guitar solos and never played any other time, so he just stood there. And then like when the guitar solos came up, he was like, and like out of tune. We were just like, you're officially pointless in the band. So So I forced Taylor to kick him out because he's like, why don't you do it? And I go, because I'll be too mean about it, all right? And
When was that?
that was probably a month or two after the show. He wasn't in the band very long. So we kicked him out, and then we started just doing our own thing as the three of us. That was pretty cool. We went through a few name changes. We were the New Originals at first, but the name was actually taken, so it was New spelled N3W Originals, and that was pretty bad. We had, what else did we have? We had New Originals, the Oxford Fire. I don't know what that even meant. And then Paul stumbled upon this, Beatles reference where, I'm not going to explain it all because I probably wouldn't tell the story right, but it was all based off of, Paul being dead or something. Paul of the Beatles, not of our band. And of one of their album covers, and it said "Be at Liso" on the front, and Liso's an island off of Greece or something, where they said Paul was buried. So our band name was "Be at Liso," and everyone was like, "It's better than anything we could think of." I was wanting to go for Possums, spelt Possumz with exclamation point and all caps, and or Wave of Babies. I thought that was a pretty good name. If anyone has seen Teen Girl Squad, that's all I would watch when I was younger. So we started playing. For a while, we didn't write any songs at all. We got asked to play a Battle of the Bands, which was an interesting experience. We wrote 1.5 songs for it. We wrote our first song, Reconstruct, which we played for a very long time and never recorded it. We played that song, and one song we called Human Bones, and that was this really horrible, really heavy sounding song that sounds like metal, alt metal or something, and we were so dark and brooding. I don't remember what that song even sounds like anymore. We played it that one time and never played it again. And we did horrible in the Battle of the Bands. We did a lot of song covers and that one song we wrote. And every other band there is selling T-shirts and stuff, and we have 5 albums already, and we were together for 3 months. So
it's funny that you go and kick the lead guitarist out.
Yeah.
And then you go all do metal.
Yeah. And then after that, we were like, that's not our style at all, and we started writing more songs. Taylor was he went to a music school type thing in his free time where they taught guitar and stuff, and they booked us a few shows. They got us our first recordings actually no, they did do Reconstruct. That was when we recorded that, and we recorded one of our other songs. And the recordings were horrible, but they were free, so, whatever. We did another Battle of the Bands. It's the same Battle of the Bands, but the year after. And if you could sell 100 tickets to the venue, you would get a free 10 hours of recording. So we sold all 100. I don't know how. Prostitution was probably involved for someone in the band. We sold all 100 tickets. We got our free recording. And then it just sat there. We never used it. And we started writing songs, and we got a good amount of songs, probably 7 or 8 songs. And we were like, well, we should record an EP. And so we used those 10 hours of recording to record our first EP, which was called Four Faces. I don't know if it's on iTunes anymore, but if you're free to look it up, Be At Least a Four Faces EP. I don't think it's any good, but but we recorded it. It's our first recording, so I think 2 people bought it off iTunes, and it's $9 a month to keep it up. So definitely not worth it. I don't know why we put it on iTunes. We tried to get people to review it on their blogs and stuff. No one reviewed it. So we just kept practicing and writing.
Did you use the songs from the first EP at the second Battle of the Bands, or?
I don't think, no. Well, we might have had a few more songs written. I think I felt a lot better about our second time on the Battle of the Bands because we actually had real songs and not just covers. But I don't. I think we had most of those songs written. Maybe not all of them, but probably there are 5, 6 songs, and I did all the art for the EP, and it was pretty much made by ourselves. I mean, besides the album, or besides the studio part. But yeah, I think the last one we wrote like a few days before recording it, and we were just like, well, we have a few hours left. We can just record that one for no reason, and we did it in like one take, and then we were done. You know, but I think we had this warped view of, yeah, you can get an album done 10 hours, no problem. You know, and it'll be good. That wasn't. It was bad, and the levels were horrible, and it just sounded really like we could have recorded it better in Taylor's room with like GarageBand or something. But we just kept practicing and stuff. We kept writing new songs. When I was a senior, Paul and Taylor graduated, and Paul moved to College Station to go to A&M. And Taylor and I stayed here, but we kept trying to practice every once in a while, and we got our good practice time in. Eventually we had enough music where we were like, we need to put this on an album, because Paul's going to go back to A&M. This was in the summer, and we're like, we're probably not going to get to practice as much as we want anymore, so we need to get all of the stuff we have and put it in an album. So we were practicing consistently, like weekly, to write songs and get them all fine-tuned, and we're saving up money from shows to go record. So we found a really nice studio in Austin. My sister lives in Austin. Yes, I love Austin. And we talked to the guy who's a really cool guy. His name was Britton, and he said that we could do 3 days with him for $1,000, and we were like, yeah, that's great, you know, like, or it was like 24 hours technically, with 2 days, 12 hours, and we ended up going like 28 hours or something. He didn't charge us for it, and we were like, yes.
How much do hours usually cost? Good deal.
I'm not sure. I know more than that. Like, I wasn't very involved in the finding a studio phase. I was like, just pick something, I don't care. So,
You found them and stuff.
yeah, I was like, he seems good. And it was a nice studio. I mean, we got a lot more involved in this album than we got in the EP. And we went down to Austin for a weekend, and we just went in, recorded the songs we had written, and we still haven't released the album because Taylor's friend Spencer was going to master it for free, or mastering is like an extra $1,000 added onto it, and we didn't have the money. So, you know, after doing like mending fences and like cleaning pools and stuff to get $500 for our recording, you know, we were like, I don't want to get another 1,000. Let's just try and do it for free. So he did a few songs, and then I don't know, it just kind of fell off. Paul went back